have this final regular season game before you can turn your attention to the playoffs. How are you sort of looking to approach this game, knowing that even if you win, you might not move up the standings, and no matter what, you're going to have a game 3 to 4 days later?
First of all, good afternoon. We try to play to win all the time. We have this game coming up in Vancouver, difficult match. And we have to go there thinking to be able to get 3 points. Whatever happens is not in our control, as you mentioned, but getting 3 points maybe can move us somewhere. As you know, the playoff scenario can bring any matchup. Basically, every team that is on the table could be a matchup against us in any way. So right now we're focusing mostly in going to Vancouver and especially try to win the match.
Could you possibly be making any lineup changes for that game because of the compacted schedule?
We always go to every field to win, every single place. So we're going to have a team to try to win the match.
And Jeff didn't start. He was in the 18, didn't start last week. How is he? Do you think he's going to be back in the starting lineup this weekend, or what's that situation?
Atinella?
Yes.
Yes, he will be definitely in the 18.
In the 18. But he's healthy to play in 11 if he...
He's now healthy to be able to participate if he has to.
And the defense seems like it's been doing really well recently, and there's been some more consistency maybe with the back line. What have you thought of the club's recent defensive performances?
It's always, it's not only the defense that gets the job accomplished. It's an effort from the entire team, starting from the place in the front, and they work very hard to initiate the first phase of defending, and the defenders at the end, the defensive midfielders, everyone involved, the goalkeeper, they have participated in making sure that we are more difficult to be broken down, that we're better defensively, and it's been good for the guys. These past 2 games, they have done a great job to make sure that we're solid defensively.
Liam Ridgewell's been more consistently in the lineup over the last 2 months. How has he done, and how important has he been to that defensive side?
And you have seen that his participation has been very important because he's been engaged. He's played at a very good level. His communication has been fantastic, making sure that we keep the line where we want. And his quality on the ball has been always very good. And now, even better because he's 100% engaged. So, not only Liam, but I would attribute the good 2 results to everyone that stepped on the field, even the guys that haven't played. They've been practicing in a great way. So everybody's engaged to make sure that we are as fit as possible to be able to play each match that we have.
Over the last 2 matches, you switched to the 4-2-3-1. I was just curious if there was something you saw about that formation that really enabled you to have these 2 really strong performances.
I think in these past 2 matches, that was the best way for us to play. The team performed very well. We defended well, we attacked well. So all around, it was a good performance by the team on that system. In the 2 games, we gave different responsibilities at some moments, but I think these 2 matches were very good, especially because the guys felt comfortable in what we did.
Thank you.
Coach, you're facing the prospect of 3 games in 8 days, but it also might be 2 games in 4 days or 2 games in 5 days. How much in your planning for Vancouver and keeping the knockout round game in mind, are you also keeping in mind the fact that you might have a second short turnaround in the coming week?
The most important part right now is focusing on Vancouver, but we cannot take away the eye to what is going to happen after. So we have to make sure that we are smart, that we do things the right way, that definitely we have to go to win in Vancouver because there's no other way that we know how to go to a game and be prepared for what is coming after. Because as I said before, any matchup possibilities is an option, is there. We can go play anywhere or we can still come and play at home, so every scenario is open.
The previous game against Vancouver also preceded a very trying week where you had 3 games in 7 days going to DC and Sporting Kansas City. You've identified that week before as a week of lessons. How will those lessons impact your preparation for the next 2 or 3 games coming up?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and you learn, and sometimes you test to learn, and because if you don't test certain things, then you never know how things will react. And for us, was a very positive way to look at the thing at that time, and it taught us a lot. So at the moment, we feel pretty confident in what we want to do for these coming matches that we're gonna have.